Welcome to Getting to the Truth in This Art. I am your host, Rob Lee, and my next guest is a model, artist, boxer. I have Babi Lee. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
So I feel like we have a mutual person in the creative scene that kind of served as the glue to bring us together. I believe it's eAndrew. And yeah, so let's get into it. I kind of, put it out there very, very high level of what you do and what your background is. But if you will, describe your work and your creative interests.
So I got into modeling, I'd say about 3-4 years ago, more seriously within the last couple of years. But really, I feel like the last, especially with COVID and everything, the last couple of years has really just been about meeting up with amazing creatives and photographers and fellow models when we can safely. And I've just been really focused on exploring everything that I can when it comes to modeling and photography. Because I also shoot on my little DSLR that I have, but I have so much to learn when it comes to that. But yeah, I'm looking to just create as much as possible because, especially all things considered within this last year, it's been really hard to just exist. So yeah, I'm really thankful for everyone that I've met out here, especially eAndrew. I mean, he was the first person that I really shot out here with, besides one of my really good friends, who is also a body paint artist. So I have some good people out here that really helped me kind of step into the scene a little bit more, I feel like.
That's great. I mean, being able to maybe shift in how you're doing things in spite of different limitations, different changes that are really outside of all our control. Mm-hmm. I had to make that pivot, make that shift. And this is why under normal conditions, we will be doing this interview in person and probably with a couple of these in hand. I don't know, but, virtual beer, I guess. But yeah, it's one of those things where you try to make do and ultimately it's get it out there, whether it be in a space of being the subject or the muse or the model for a particular project or being the person that's aiding and someone that's telling their story or telling a part of their story, like I'm attempting to do, probably poorly, but attempting to do. So what traits do you look for in creatives, specifically photographers, that you want to work with?
I feel like number one is definitely their vibe. You want to vibe with them. And that in turn means that they should, you want to feel comfortable in front of the lens. So eAndrew, who we were talking about earlier, is super good at doing that. Just makes you feel like he has his music playing and he always makes you laugh and shit, which you can get some awesome photos out of that. I've shot with a lot of friends and, we make some amazing stuff. So I would feel like, you want to have good vibes. I've worked with a ton of really amazing photographers over the last couple of years. And I would feel like those are like my top two. Definitely you want to vibe out and you want to be comfortable and have fun. At the end of the day, regardless of what you're making, you always want to have fun with it. Cause I feel like that shows in the project that you make at the end of the day. So.
Yeah, I think it comes through. And I think when you see someone that's doing a project that they really care about, all of those other things don't really matter. Those are all secondary things. They, in terms of outside of the project, like when people tell me about this podcast, for sake of argument, they'll say, listening to it, because you want to get that feedback sometimes to see, okay, is this landing the way that I would want it to land and so on. And people always tell me, it's like you connect with people and it seems like you're actually interested in talking to them. And I'm like, yeah, otherwise, why would I? It's
Absolutely.
Like, you talk to someone that's boring and it's like, yeah, I got nothing to talk about. It's like, I don't want that. So which part of that creative process in terms of the modeling that you enjoy the most and you enjoy the least and why?
I'll start off with my personal creative process, like especially if I'm doing I've been doing a lot of shoots at home because of COVID, which kind of made me think outside the box a lot, and I've been wanting to do more stuff like that. My personal creative process, I both love and hate, because I will come up with an idea, it'll come up in my brain, I'm like, oh my God, I want to do this, and then I'm like, whoa, how am I going to do this? I don't know. Like, I have this one project that I worked on, and I was like, I knew I wanted to be suspended, and I wanted like this liquid dripping off of me, and it like slowly turned into like all these other ideas that I had in my head, and I had no idea how I was going to put them together. I had no idea. Yeah. And I thought about this for like a year, and slowly pieces started coming together. My friend who is the body paint artist, she does a bunch of other stuff. She's super talented. So I had my top half painted. I had my friend there kind of in like a dominatrix vibe. And then I was suspended by a rope, by this Emily Rose. She's a model and also a rope artist. And I'd never done this before. And I'm suspended by my hips off the ceiling, upside down. Eventually we get this, like, it's called thick water. And because I knew I wanted a specific type of liquid, but I didn't know how to make it. I was thinking, is it going to be ink? That seems not good to dunk myself into. So no. I came up with this, and then it's just like, I hate it because I will come up with an idea and I have no idea how I'm going to do it. And I'll think on it and little pieces will come. And then all of a sudden I have a day and I'm like, oh my God, this is how this is going to work. But I love what I can create, especially with amazing people. Like that whole project, I had a bunch of amazing people help me out with it. And that part I really love. I love seeing what you are able to create. With other people, with like other projects that are like less planned out or more free flowing. Like I did a lot of the Be More Shoots meetups. That I love because so many people have you see different people's creative processes. And I just think that's super interesting because everyone kind of works at a different speed or their eye catches something differently. And I think that's what's so amazing about a creative process or an artist in general is that we can relate on a lot of different things, but that's what makes art so cool is someone's going to see something totally different than you might see it. And I just think that's super interesting. So. Yeah.
I do a movie review podcast, because I have a loosely affiliated network of podcasts, and I do a movie review podcast, and it's interesting to talk to people who might have a similar background, similar age, and all of that different stuff. And it's a movie we've seen hundreds of times, right? And then you're looking at it more critically. You're talking about, like, you saw that there too, or you saw that particular thing. How did you come to that? And I did a review earlier of The Fly, that old Jeff Goldblum movie. And we were just like, yeah, man, it's an allegory for AIDS, man. And, back in the 80s, and we're going deep into it. And it's just like, oh, you took it that way and I'm taking it this way. And it's kind of interesting to see once collaboration happens, because typically in the past, I would have done that movie review by myself. I would have sat there and been in my own little vacuum of how I view this. And this would be the definitive way of looking at it. And in talking with someone else. And I think as that audience gets bigger, but still having that common thread of we're all going to the same goal, whether it be watching this movie and speaking about this movie in a critical but fandom sort of way, we would all be able to share different ideas. And it's really interesting to collaborate in that manner. And it was one thing that he said to me during this interview was Isaiah Winters. He was saying, I mentioned the thing. I was like, I feel like Jeff Goldblum was a Ghostbuster without being a Ghostbuster. And he was like, I'm now going to forever remember this now.
I love Jeff Goldblum.
I mean, who doesn't? He's a sexy man. The skin color of rotisserie chicken. He was very tan in that movie and it was great. So now I want to get your viewpoint on art. You can take it specifically to your discipline or speak on it more macroly if you like. should art be used to influence political, religious, social, and environmental views? What is your take in that area? Like how art should maybe be used, and you can even expand from that. Like maybe I feel like it should be used to speak on maybe gender politics or authoritarianism or people's bodies and agency and things of that nature. What is your take in that area?
Art, it can be, and I feel like it always has and always will have a space in politics, because it's just, I feel like art is another way to communicate. So why not use it to talk about different things that you care about? I've definitely done it in the past, and I will continue to do it. And I feel like art is almost like everything, kind of. Mm-hmm. So one day it's just going to be like, I want to do like this beautiful, amazing fashion shoot, and I just want to kill every pose, and I really want to work on that and just like create some amazing dynamic shit, because it's nice to look at cool shit like that, like at the end of the day.
Well said.
And, but it can also be used to, and has been used to change the world. And I think that, so as a short answer, yes, I would, I do and will use it for anything that I can to help bring attention to certain subjects. And also I just want to make some stuff that looks awesome.
No, absolutely. I think for the longest time you get into like satire or what have you, I think people's definition around what art is and what art isn't, that gets kind of muddied, and that takes away from what it can speak on. Like we look at visual stuff, like let's say drawings and things of that nature, sketches. You have political drawings. Is that not speaking on like politics or what have you? It's like, oh, this is satire, and it has a place there. Or like when I think of something speaking on issues, I always go to satire. I always think about like the New Yorker. I always thinking about maybe, let's say from a fashion standpoint or a modeling standpoint, there may be, we're only going to use this type of model. We're only going to use dark skinned Black models because we feel like there's a lack of representation. So this is what we're going to be commenting on, or we're only going to wear this type of fashion because we believe that this other stuff is unethical. And I think that getting that extra layer, it's like from the base of it, as you're getting to, it's like, shit's got to be dope. But, but secondarily, it's like it having a message behind it. I think it is important. I think it should. So from the guys of this podcast, I got pissed off about people talking shit about Baltimore, for lack of a better term. And I was like, all right, what do I do? Run my mouth. All right, let's do that. But let's do it with other people to kind of get to some truth that's happening in the city with all of the people that call this place home. And that come through here, because it's a lot of times where it's not a lot of credit being given around for old Charm City.
I'm still getting to know it.
Oh, really? So let's talk about that a little bit. Well, how did you get to Baltimore?
So my partner is from Baltimore originally. We've been living out in Pittsburgh pretty much since I've known them. We both went to Pitt Greensburg, and then I transferred to Pitt, Maine for my last couple of years, and we've been living out there with some friends for a long time. I grew up there. I was born and raised around Pittsburgh area. But we needed to change pretty badly, to say the least. And we came out here because he's got family out here. And then COVID happened. So I've been to Baltimore a lot over the years. But I was excited because I was like, oh, I'm moving out here. I'll finally be able to like really explore the city and stuff. And we moved out literally Halloween night. October 31st, we moved out here, and then what was it, like a few months, and then COVID was here. Yeah. So I didn't get to do shit. I wasn't even working. Like I had been working, but I worked at a gym. So that wasn't a thing. And then we were just like in the house every day, slowly going crazy. And we were living with his aunt and one of his uncles. And it was just a lot of people in a small house for a really long period of time. It was a lot. So I'm really excited that through art, literally through art and friends, I've been able to get little sneak peeks of Baltimore.
Yeah.
Like I'll go to a shoot and we didn't get to go into the museum, but it was the
Visionary Arts Museum?
Yeah. It was beautiful out there. Oh my God, all these beautiful sculptures and this glass. And we took all these like super cool, oh my gosh, all the photos from that. It was amazing. But I didn't even get to go in, and I was just like, oh, this is cool. Like, because I have not been very many places. So I'm slowly getting acquainted with it. But I've known people out here for many years.
So in coming from a rival city, I didn't know I was speaking to a Pittsburghian or whatever that is called. Burn those towels. No, I'm kidding.
I have no terrible towels. I used to own one. And then I was so old and I ended up using it as a cleaning rag because it worked really well. And then I have no idea where it is. So
that's exactly what it should be used for, actually. Let me polish my rims with this.
It was a great towel.
So in coming here, in traveling here, like intermediately and eventually moving here, like what was that reputation and how has that been in kind of seeing, as you described it, like the trail or the sneak peeks of Baltimore? How's it been versus the representation it had before moving here?
Oh, the reputation. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I have a lot of feels when it comes to this, because I feel like anytime someone lives outside of something looking in, you can say all the things you want about it, but like, so I lived in Hazelwood in Pittsburgh for a while, which is, it's a really old town. And it's definitely run down and it's definitely getting like slowly gentrified now. They like almost put like an Amazon warehouse out there and they ended up not doing that. So, but everyone would be like, oh my God, you live in Hazelwood? And I'd be like, yeah. And they'd be like, just look up. I'm like, it has this history. And that's all people can see. And I'm like, right now it's just a bunch of rundown like houses in one area, but then there's like up the hill, there's all these families and it's just like people living their lives. And that's how I felt when I came to Baltimore. Like so many people are like, you're moving to Baltimore? I'm like, yes. And I feel like they would have said something if I went to Chicago or, parts of New York City or something like that. There's always going to be people saying something about it, but I love it. I mean, I feel like I have grown a lot since I've come here and I've met even more amazing people. And it's given me a chance to kind of explore myself a lot more, just in a different space. And I love the weather. Oh my God. I hate Pittsburgh weather. Sorry, Pittsburgh. I hate it. It's awful. Not for me. If you love,
I'm going to isolate part of that.
If you love like London and like cloudy days with rain and stuff, then it's beautiful. It's perfect. Yeah. You're up in the mountains. It's great. But I prefer, look, the sun is shining here. Yes, it's beautiful.
It sounds like good writing weather for my brooding novel about Victoria. No,
it would be perfect. If you needed to get in the headspace, Pittsburgh is the place. I promise you.
And then the door creaked and several bodies fell out of a closet. You know,
wouldn't even be surprised. There's some old houses up there.
But I think dispelling what it is, because I always hear about that overlap, and that's where there are a lot of, maybe in terms of how they present it, sister cities or whatever, or brother cities. I don't know what the nomenclature would be, but that this is blue collar. It has this, it has that. And that's the similarities I've seen with like Pittsburgh and Baltimore. I always look at like Baltimore being very similar to Philadelphia, but in a smaller space. It's not as big as Philadelphia, but you have the art scene. And then you have in some of these cities, the racial makeup, which I think aids in some of the critiques and some of the, this place is sketch. All right, cool. I was like, I see white girls getting off the bus every day to go to Micah. It's not that sketch. Yeah. It's fine.
Yeah.
I assure you it's fine. So hot take, Rob. So stepping back, let's talk about dream projects. What would that dream photo shoot look like for you in terms of location, people involved, theme, etc.? What do you got?
I was thinking about this.
Or did you describe it earlier? I need to find this proper liquid, not ink, preferably.
Dream. I think about this a lot, but it changes.
Or an example, because it can be anyone. Mm-hmm. It can be like, if you've dreamed about it, it's a thing.
True. It's not necessarily like a specific thought, more of just like, I would right now I'm picturing warm because I'm in like beach mode. So I would definitely want like somewhere too, like a tropical, just beautiful, just a beautiful place. Like maybe, I don't know, like there's even some amazing waterfalls out here, but maybe like Mexico, like it's just like all the plants hanging around everywhere and just like doing a dope photo shoot in the middle of nature, somewhere new, and access to whatever I need. Like we got wardrobe on deck, a makeup artist, because I love doing my makeup. It is so much fun, and I've definitely learned a lot over the last few years. But if I could have a good makeup artist too, oh my God, that would be amazing. I would love that.
My thing is, if someone ever presented the opportunity for I always do this running bit of, if I ever get on and I have like an assistant or something, I'm going to go full divas. Like, look, where are my green M&Ms? Where's my makeup artist? I need only Off-White is being worn. Like, we don't have your size. Make it my goddamn size. I don't care, Put a saddle on it, fuck it.
Oh, that's another thing. Like having like perfectly fit, like it's sewn to your measurement. Oh my gosh, I would die. That would be amazing. And I could have my wine. I could have a joint in my hand. That's it. Seal the deal. That's all I need.
Because I mean, I don't know if you run into it, like, because you're what? How tall are you? Because you're modeling. How tall are you?
5'10".
So I'm 6'4", and people don't think it because it's like, oh, you're
you only see the top out.
Literally, and it's like, if I could just show my face and have the rest disappear, it'd be even better. Just a disembodied head.
I love it.
But it's one of those things where it's like, I really want this. Can we figure it out? Can we just figure this out? Like, I want this item. So definitely, I echo that sentiment of perfectly fits you. Like, literally, I had this bit where I wanted to have a pop done, like a Funko Pop. And I was like, it's just a beard and Carhartt shirts. That's all it is. That's all I wear at this point, because that's the only thing that seems to fit. And it's just like, that's my life.
My thing is my shoulders, because you get something to fit my shoulders, and then it's like, it does not fit the rest of me at all. So, I
mean, I noticed the tank top, hence the, trying to like work. You're doing the same thing. Mine's aren't as prominent as yours. Like, it must be all of that boxing and punching. You just shoulder rolling and throwing punches.
I need to get back into that. I wish I was boxing. I have been doing pull-ups though.
I'm jealous. So
it's not many, I got like 5. I swear to God.
I can do none, especially with this tattoo. It's like, I feel like my bicep's going to explode. So I got nothing.
That's fair.
So 2 more questions. This one is another artist question, and I don't know if it applies as well, but maybe you have a take on it. From your perspective, are artists following the crowd or the money? Are they doing it for themselves? And it's like, this makes sense for the culture, and I hate using that, as my eyes rolled and everything. Or is it like, I need this clout, I need this social currency, I need money, so I'm going to be doing this?
I feel like, because I've even gone through different stages of stuff like this. Like, first I want to create and just make amazing stuff, but then I also wanted to get out there and share it with people. And I also want to consume other people's art. So I fluctuate between like, I need to get a little bit more like, I guess, attention on my shit. But then at the same time, I'm like, does that really matter at the end of the day? Because I'm just doing this for me. But then I also have bills. And I'm like, the money is nice. Like, that's helpful. So I feel like it kind of fluctuates. But I do notice in the people that I work with or have worked with in the past, at the end of the day, it really is the art. Like, that's what I know for me. Like, all that other stuff is like, especially the money. Like, I need. Well, that's another thing with the dream shoot. If I got paid.
Wow. I'm going to throw a lot of cha-chings in as you're talking right here, like the money and the money. And it's like, is that a cash register again? Don't worry. The check is in the mail. It's coming.
If I didn't need money, I'd be good. But, I need food.
I mean, that's one of the things, like, it's one of the things that I'm looking at, like early on, like first episode of this podcast, we were having this conversation. Me and James Nasty was having this conversation about how artists having their stuff together or what have you. And ultimately that means like not going, you shouldn't be a starving artist. It's kind of the messaging I got from just different people, and that being one of them. And, it's a thing that, as a person that's like observing it and running into it, like whenever the opportunity presents itself to help somebody out, whether it be buying some art from them, whether it be just like, yo, it's your birthday, here's a couple of dollars on the humble or what have you. That's what I think, like, people who are around, just build out that community. And sometimes it might be that $30 might mean like some lunch meat or something, or whatever the situation. It might be a couple salads. 100%. I don't know what people are eating these days. A couple J's too.
I mean, yes, all the currency. Yeah, I definitely have had a lot of help from really good friends, and I try to help everyone that's close to me when I can too. And I think that's really important because it's been hard. It's been a hard year. It's been a hard life for a lot of people, And
I mean, mine's has been great. It's been peaches and cream, peonies, and other flowers.
That's beautiful. I'm so happy for you.
I'm full of shit, but go on.
But I feel like, to go back to what you were saying earlier, I do feel like at the end of the day, it does come down to the art. Like, that's when I feel like I'm really alive, is when I'm creating stuff like that. Like, it's the same feeling that you have when you're with people that you care about. So at the end of the day, I feel like that's what people do it for. But then all that other stuff gets up in the mix because we're humans and we have to exist in this society right now.
That's legit. It's like working within the confines that are presented. It's like, if this is the universe and this is what we have to do to, sustain or what have you. Yeah, working with the community and all of that good stuff. Because I see a lot of shady looking GoFundMe's out there, and it's like, just say, yo, look, I need some bread. I don't need your sob story to go along with it. Just say, look, I need money. Cha-ching, Baby Lee, I need money. Last question I have before shameless plugs. And I've modified this question while we were talking because I'm clever, sneaky, all of that good shit. What are 3 things people may be surprised to find out about you?
Oh, you made it 3 things.
Yeah. See?
I was having trouble coming up with one. Oh, wait, I'll come up with the ones that I was thinking about. But I was like, I don't know if these are really surprising. All right. So one of the things, okay, so the boxing gloves that you mentioned when we first got on here, that might be surprising to people, that I feel like I'm pretty athletic. I'm not as in shape as I probably should be, but I ran cross country and track. I did boxing for a while. I just had a trainer. I wasn't in the ring. I wish. One day I want to spar. That would be amazing. I just want to experience it.
I know a gym.
Yes, please send me that information. I've been looking, and that's it used to be running for me. It was really meditative and helped me work through a lot of shit when I used to do it, but really messed up my knees because I ran on roads a lot, which is not good for you.
No.
So, I mean, we ran on the track, and in cross country, we would run on a lot of trails, but yeah, it was a lot of road running. Unfortunately, I wish it was all trails and stuff and tracks. That'd be a lot better, but my knees are kind of messed up, and that's
probably number 2.
Yes. And that's why I love boxing. So it was just a very different type of workout that I'd never experienced. And I absolutely fell in love with it. And it was some of the best shape that I've ever been in my life. And I really want to get back into that.
Yeah, one more.
That's right. There's other surprise. Okay.
Athlete, destroyed knees.
Yes, my knees are shot. Yeah. Please don't come for my knees. I'm doing my best. Walking has helped me a lot.
I echo that. Both of my knees are destroyed, and I'm just being a flubby powerlifter type.
Powerlifting's awesome.
Fine. Yeah, it's fine. But I don't have short limbs, so it's just
That's true.
As I said earlier, 6'4", and it's just arms and legs. It's I don't know if you look as strong as you should look. It's I got the gut. I got the whatever.
The base. You need it.
Yeah. I got tits. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. In a weight belt.
How much do you lift?
Yeah.
All right, just skirted right past that.
It depends on what it is. I'm a rower guy. I can't bench press for shit. My shoulders are trash too. It's like knees and shoulders, god awful.
This could be my surprising thing if it counts. It's related to my knees. I injured both of my IT bands in my last year of running cross country. And it was some of the most painful shit I've ever experienced. And I just kept running and I didn't know it was wrong. Like I could like move around just fine. And then I went to our physical trainers and they were like, oh yeah, you injured both your IT bands. So I was like, well, that doesn't sound great. And they're like, nope, just roll on this foam roller for the rest of your life. I was like, what?
Oh no. And I mean,
they're better now.
That can't be great being like tall. I had Osgood Schlatter. So basically the friggin' patella tendons were always inflamed. So I was like,
weird like bump on your knee.
Yes.
Oh yeah. I'm pretty sure I had that when I played soccer as a kid, because it was this weird name that I couldn't pronounce it correctly growing up because I was like in like 4th grade or something. And they're like, oh yeah, you just got this thing in your knee. It's never going to go away. I was like, I don't understand.
I mean, I just said this. I was like, oh, it's German. I don't believe in German. It's not black. I don't care. I was like, if it was like Jerome Schlatter or something, maybe I might listen to it, but Osgood, fuck that. No, why? So thank you. I'm just going to keep muttering on and that's not going to be anything. So I'll give you the technicality. You use 2 knee things for your 3, but that's
fair.
It's fine.
I don't know what else
but you like wine. Boom.
I love wine and all other alcoholic drinks for the most part.
Wow.
It's true. I also work there we go. I work at a liquor store. That could be my 3rd surprise.
Yeah, that helps me out tremendously. Because as you see, I started my conversation off with drinking. So
yeah, and then you reminded me I had rosé in the fridge that I needed to get.
And well, rosé. See, that's what I was going to ask. What it is? So rosé, you've earned points on that. Good for you. Oh, rosé is classy.
It's a new thing for me. I used to only drink red wine. I didn't really like white wine very much, and I occasionally had rosés, but I've been trying a lot more new things.
I'm a big fan of rosé.
It's good. It's really good. Especially in the summertime.
And I mean, definitely with the red wine and the kind of vampiric aesthetic you got going on there, it made sense. It's like, oh, so this is how this ends. Literally interviewed the vampire. Social media, all of that stuff, shameless plugs. Where can he find you? Yeah.
Babi Lee on Instagram, Babi Lee C. It's BABI, said like baby. Also on TikTok, if you like TikTok, I post just know if you come to my TikTok, it's chaos. I claim nothing on my TikTok, but that is XXBBXX, and then I think there's a 6 afterwards. I honestly don't remember, but if you type that first thing in, it should come up.
That's a rousing endorsement, by the way.
Look, I really only use Instagram that much. I don't use Twitter. I have a Snapchat, but again, that is chaos. So go to my TikTok first. That's a little less chaos than my Snapchat. I'm just a weird, scattered human being, and you see that in those. It's much more personal than my Instagram, I would say.
I'm getting it from this interview, but
my Cash App is $.
Wow, I dig it. I respect it. That's the first time.
6, please. If you're feeling generous, send $1. $1. I could get a water for that.
$1 goes a long way to help these starving artists. It's like me, and it's like, why are you photoshopped amongst these homeless people? You got to help them out. It'll buy 2 packs of pens or whatever. Some lip gloss. I don't know.
I do need some pens, actually. That's funny. I only have like 1 pen in this house right now. It's embarrassing.
Shit. I had to send you some pens. Can't have that happening. So thank you for coming on to the podcast. This has been a treat.
Thank you. This was awesome. I appreciate you asking me.
Oh, totally. So for Babi Lee, I am Rob Lee. I don't like that. I just realized there was 2 Lees. I don't like it. Saying that there's art in and around Baltimore. You just got to look for it.